Okay, so now the next part of our tutorial will be working on the image of the Duomo. Okay, it's one of my favorite places in Italy, in Florence. Anyway, click on the image of the Duomo. If you hit Control C or Command C if you have a Mac, I'm sorry, T, Command T, or Control T, and you hold the Shift key down, we're just going to size it like we've done a few times already. Okay. Again, look at our layers. This is in front of the images that we just edited. So I'm going to take that Duomo image on my Photoshop layers, and I'm going to click on the layer and I'm going to drag it down so that it's underneath. Okay. I'm also going to, at this point, I can shift click the images that we worked on so far. So if I click on the one layer and then I do shift click, shift, hold the shift key down and click even a third one, I can go on my move tool and I can move all three of them at once. Whoops. Okay. There's one trick to here. Okay. So I have to whoops. Okay. So if we go to our layers, we click on this layer. We want to merge down this layer. Because it's got a mask in it, it'll make it one image. What was happening when we just moved was the mask was staying here and the other image was moving this way to the left. So we merged it down. So what we did was we clicked on it and we went up here to this little arrow and it gives us an option to merge down a layer that has a mask. Okay, so now we're in better shape. So red dress, layer, shift click. So then I can go on my move tool and move it all over, and it all moves together. Okay, so when we're on the Duomo layer, I might make that a little bigger. Control T or Command T. Hit return when I'm done. Okay, so when I'm on the layer, there's something here that will allow you to apply different filters. So this one I applied luminosity, and I also, I believe it was at 50% opacity. So the opacity is here, and I move that toggle down to 50. Okay, so it looks different than the other one because we have a different color in the background image, so we can do that also. So we can hide our layers again, and if we want to, really pick any kind of colored background we want. So just drag from the top left to the bottom right. And you can, whatever you have in your foreground color, you can change it if you want. Hit OK, and then this is your background color. You can click that, change that as well. You could flip-flop them by doing this arrow. Say you want that your foreground, that your background. Okay, so what I did was I applied a blend. So as long as we have two different colors here, we're good. And then in the middle of the toolbar, it says Gradient Tool. Click on the Gradient Tool. And then I get a crosshair when I'm in the Gradient Tool. And what I do is I click down with my mouse. I hold the Shift key down and it makes a straight line. And then I let go and it applies the blend of these two colors. Pretty cool. Anyway, okay. So now I'm going to turn on my layers again. It's not going to be exactly like what I created, but it'll be a variation. So again, we put the luminosity. It originally was normal with 100%. So then we changed it to 50%. And you can play around with whatever filters you like. Luminosity. Okay. All right. Let's see what else. Okay. So now we had a mosaic image also. And I'm sorry, my stained glass, not my mosaic, my stained glass. And my stained glass is an opacity of 9 and has hard light. Okay, so let's go to, I called it my mosaic, but I apologize, it's not a mosaic. It is stained glass. So I'm going to click on the mosaic layer, Command T or Control T. If I hold my mouse out, see there's a curved arrows, and if I hold that down and turn it, it'll, if I hold my shift key down, it'll go in increments of 45 degrees. Okay. Now it looks a little washed out because it's at the bottom of my layers, so if I want to see it clearer, I have to just drag it to the top. Okay, so now I'm also going to resize it. Command T or Control T, hold the shift key down, and make it really big. Looks like I made it really huge. Okay, then I'm going to move it over with my move tool. Now it's in front of where I want it to be, so I'm going to move it down again. Okay, so let's see how we did this. Oh, actually it was like all in front of the whole thing. And it was the opacity 9 hard light. Okay, so we do want it huge. Okay, so let's drag it. Make it as big as we want. Move it around like you want. And it is, opacity was 9%. And it was, I believe, hard light. So it creates a little montage effect. Right? Yeah, I mean, I use different parts of it, but in different colors, so it's got a slightly different look to it. I also wanted to show you how to apply text and shapes with blends also. So, for the sake of this, we're going to create a new layer, and I'm going to use this rectangular marquee tool. I'm going to draw a bar that I know I'm going to put my text in. I'm going to pick my color. So same way we did this blend in the background, I'm going to do the same thing on this bar. So let's just say we want our colors to be, I'm just going to use different colors so we can see the difference. Gold, and then my background I'm going to have like a dark blue. So then I go to my blend, and then again I do the shift and drag it across, and it puts a blend in there. Now this is behind certain images, so if I want it to be clearer, I have to drag my layer up so then it. So I think what I did was I duplicated this layer also. So I'll click on that layer and click up here on that little arrow, and you can duplicate the entire layer. So make sure you label your layer. So let's call this like blend bar 1, and this will be blend bar 2. So blend bar 2 is right on top of the other one. And I'm going to do the same thing I've done with everything else. Control or Command T. I'm going to hold it a little outside so that I can turn it. And hold the shift key down. I'm going to totally flip it. Put it where I want it. And there you go. Okay, so I do want it behind that Monitor Man image. So I'm going to drop it down there. So it pushes it behind it. Okay, so then I wanted to show you also how to apply text. So applying text, you click on the text tool. And then you can click your point size, you can click your color. Color is up here, this colored box. And then you can start typing. Test. Oops. Test to see how this works. Okay, so now you can go on your move tool and take your text, Whoops. So now it's behind the layer. So again, we need to move it up over this bar layer. Now it'll go above. Now if I want to apply a drop shadow, which is what I did on mine, so you can apply filters or effects to text also. So if I'm clicked on the text layer, if I pull down under layer, layer style, it'll give me all these different effects, which work pretty well. So I'm going to go to a drop shadow, and then you can play around with it. Make sure you always hit preview so you can see how it works. And you're going to look at what you like. Move things around a little bit. You can change the color of your blend. You can add a whole bunch of things. So here we go. You can probably see it better on this side. We have a drop shadow. Alright, so that's really the idea of this. So I'm going to show you in the next video how to save your files. Great job.